So, Andrew, what did you think when you first heard of the Sounds from a Room project?
Well, I was a little confused first. As soon as I figured out what it was, I thought it was kind of one of those things you should not overlook.
How do you think it will affect or influence your performance?
I can't say yet. I have imagined what it's like up there, but I always like being put on the spot to have to do something new. So I'm going to veer towards more violin music and more improvised, instrumental stuff. Anyway, I like having certain restrictions anyway, and an excuse to kind of go off the script a little bit, and I like the fact that it's a very tiny, like very short residency, but I like the concept of a residency where you respond to your environment, and I write a lot of my music in a barn, and there's a I like this theory that what you see affects what you hear. It's not that far-fetched of a theory, but I'm thinking looking out over London and seeing what comes to mind.
Excellent. How will you cope with being alone in a confined space for 2 days?
I actually won't be alone.
How will you cope being in a confined space with very few people?
I'm not too concerned about that. I mean...
You're in the middle of promo at the moment, so will you relish maybe being alone a little bit?
Yes, for
Not
sure.
to give you an answer.
Yes, I need a break from being questioned.
We've only 2 more questions. What other strange places have you played in?
I have played in some odd venues. I remember playing in Knoxville, Tennessee once in a former bank lobby. I thought that was somehow... I actually have a song about playing in the sort of charred remains of financial institutions. And a long time ago I played a Rastafarian wedding in Macon, Georgia. Macon, Music City, Georgia. It was a very odd experience. The guy getting married looked like Bill Clinton. And
Wow.
An installation at the MCA in Chicago. I would get up when normal people get up and go to work, and I would compose music, after breakfast instead of the rock and roll schedule. And I found I had a lot more energy and focus at that time of day. It was really gratifying. And then you're done at 1 o'clock. So it's a whole new, the installation idea. Like my fantasy is to get up, ride my bike to like a open space and compose for a couple hours and then go home.
You've touched on this a little bit already, but how does a situation like this compare to your normal writing and performing routine?
I still have the anticipation of the performance, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? This is a usual thing. I generally don't do the same thing every night anyway. But I like having to consider the space. I do every night, even from theater to theater. I walk around the space and get a sense of the acoustics and imagine. I'm a little superstitious about this. I imagine what it's like to sit in the audience. So I have to go into the lobby. I have to kind of get a sense of the experience. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll get detached, which is quite possible. Absence of audience is a little strange because you kind of, derive energy from the audience. But on the other hand, like I was talking about the installation idea, there was no audience for that, and I found it kind of liberating because there's not that focus on your persona, like you're not feeling the clock ticking so much on the attention span.